Welcome to the General's Gentlemen.
Well, here we are. We're on Crossroads now. This time, Kpen will be the Soviets, and FredFoShizzle, he will be the Wehrmacht. They did just play, in which case FredFoShizzle, he won as the Soviets. So this is actually a series or anything, but just for context, Fred is 1-0 above. Kpen going for some conscripts. It's a good map for conscripts. It's very wide and open. There's a lot of points to take, so you can use the mobility of Ura to just run around capping points, decapping points especially. I love the barracks placement there. It allows you to reinforce pretty easily. Can you replace counterattack KV1 with something else? Yes, I have, yes. Because KV1 is available on tier 4 without a commander, I've replaced it. So at the moment, I've replaced the KV1 with vehicle tracking. I don't think it's really the best ability because it overlaps a bit with the recon. It's a cool ability and it's fun, but just the fact that you have recon and vehicle tracking on the same commander is perhaps a little bit redundant. I will replace it down the line if there's something more interesting. That was kind of a temporary thing, just so they have something else. I haven't done all the commanders yet properly. Commanders have been kind of the last priority. Nice little defensive play here with the Grenadiers, though. Is covering the MG. Maybe should have charged the Engineers, though, just because the Engineers were focusing the MG instead. But either way, it's going to suppress these conscripts. They're behind the heavy cover, so they won't get pinned for a while, though. We're actually putting some sandbags on the VP. He's buying a lot of time with the conscripts. Yeah, nice. The thing is, though, is the MG can still outrange the cons if he moves up a little bit. Meanwhile, we have the fuel disconnected now for FredFoShizzle. Kpen hasn't really gone his side of the map much. Doesn't have his munitions, doesn't have his fuel. And he's gone, yeah, just all out con spam. Should have moved in with Grens. Yeah, he should have, for sure. Because they were suppressed, so they wouldn't have done much damage against the Grenadiers. He runs into them again. And then if he gets up close, he'll obviously ignore the heavy cover. Gonna be flanking with the conscripts here. Nice. Doesn't retarget in time. There are gonna be Grens moving up. But it should force away the MG. The crew's pretty low from the earlier trade with the combat engineers. Once again, might be worth closing up against the pinned conscripts. He'd take damage from the cons in the house, but if they'd be behind the heavy cover, the Grens wouldn't take too much. It's a bit hard to use the MG against this many conscripts on a map this open. Still nice to have, though, to support your Grens. Against con spam, it's also really nice to rush out the G43 upgrade. So Kpen's locked in his counter attack. So we see that he has the armored vehicle detection. I suppose the vehicle detection will have some synergy with the B4, because then you can reveal enemy vehicles and then just bomb them with the B4. And you can do the same with the recon. But the thing is with the recon is your opponent knows that you have recon. So if you have like a tank that's stationary and you see a recon flying overhead, you go, oh, better move my tank because he might fire me with a B4. But with the vehicle tracking, like, you have no idea that they actually have vision. So I guess there is some synergy with it. If anyone else has any better ideas to replace this ability, then by all means, let me know. Kpen has 400 manpower. Should probably get medics. As for Fred, what's he doing? He's going for his battle phase 1. He's looking pretty good in territory. He's actually getting the double fuel as well. Where's his MG? Like in this house in the middle. Yeah, that may force Kpen into Molotovs or a mortar even. I was gonna say it might be worth putting the MG on this fuel point rather than the middle. Probably would actually. But I guess he has the mortar nearby as well. The mortar, I don't know if that was really smart. Against conscripts, which is so mobile, the mortar has a hard time really hitting. But it's kind of a preempt because, you know, you pretty much... You're going to see support weapons mixed in, whether it's a Zis or a Maxim. So having that ready to go as soon as your opponent gets a Maxim or a Zis gun, then you have a nice little counter to that. Yeah, he's putting a mortar as Kpen, so he wants to clear this house out. He has the Grens behind heavy cover, that's quite clever. Pushing up the left side, so this fuel is actually a little bit exposed. A lot of munitions here, so putting S-mines on the fuel would have been nice, but a bit late now. These pyros are pretty low. Ooh. The pyro flame is in combination with the flamer AoE. Very deadly. Yeah, so this is clever. I like how Kpen, he's ignoring the middle of the MG entirely. Instead, he's just going straight for the flanks, going for the fuel points instead. These Grens are not actually retreating. There they go. The best thing you can do, the best thing to counter an MG is just avoid it if you can. And it actually, the Soviet mortar barrage is the Wehrmacht mortar, rather than the MG. But you put a demo on the VP, that could be a little bit powerful. Only kills 3 models max though, so won't get a full wipe. Does a nice pin. Building his med bunker now as well. So he hasn't actually made use of Battle Phase 1. He went for that pretty early on and hasn't done anything with it. Give counterattack propaganda leaflets. It's not a bad idea. It's a pretty fun ability. It's on, I think it's Terra and... I can't remember the other commander that it's on. Maybe it's infantry or something. But yeah, it's a really good ability. It's just on commanders, which are pretty weak for the most part. That's why you don't see it. This mortar is actually just blowing up the house. Wants to deny it to FredFoShizzle. Medic's been completed for both of our players now. In the tightrope medic position, rather than the Desper position. That way it forces the troops to retreat, then you bomb their retreat point with a B4. Oh man, that is so filthy tightrope. Yeah, I can see that being quite fun. I mean, you also have to think about the thematic aspects of the commander counter-attack. Like, how do these abilities factor into counter-attack? I mean, really none of them do. Like, none of these abilities really make sense if counter-attack is the theme. I suppose for Mother Russia does, because it gives you a speed boost, and it gives you, like, a damage boost. And Recon, I suppose you could argue, does, because then you know where to counter-attack and what to counter-attack. Shocks are an option here for Kpen. Deciding not to go for them. Shocks have had a bit of a manpower reduction. Only 360, I think they're 390 normally. G43 nice. It'll make him trade much better against the conscripts. Oh, well, the mortar got taken out. But it was recrewed. Not a big deal. Kpen, you're having a lot of resources floated up. He should at least go for a Maxim for his fuel point. Oh, look at these demos. It won't be a wipe, though, but it'll definitely force the retreat. Yeah, I think a Maxim for the right side fuel would be a really nice spend of his resources. Maybe even a squad of shocks. Pyro Flamers will be preventing the cons from charging up. AT Grenade's unlocked already here for Kpen. He's worried about a quick tank. Uh-oh, the Grens. Oh, loses the Grens there. Actually no window on this side, but I think the corner shot was able to come through. So Fred losing a squad. Maybe we'll have to rebuild some P-Grens now to make up for that. Has a pack out. Kpen actually building his tier 3 now and 60 fills. So his tier 3 is actually pretty on time. Maybe a little bit earlier would have been nice, but not a big deal.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Double fuel of the moment here for FredFoShizzle. Does he have his battle phase 2? He's going for it now, and he still has a fair bit of fuel left over. So I've changed it so tier 4 no longer requires battle phase 3. So when you tech up, you can actually go for either. The tier 4 is of course more expensive both manpower and fuel wise compared to battle phase 3. So it still comes later, but it just never really made sense to me why Wehrmacht have an additional tier 4 when the units are the same units that other factions have on tier 3. You know, Panther comes on OKW tier 3. You have the Panzerwerfer, which is like the same as the Caddy, which is tier 3, more or less. Or weaker, arguably. Nice smoke, though, with the mortar barrage. Allows the cons to close up. And they're behind the heavy cover now. The MG backs away, as is the mortar. And that house can blow up any moment. Are you knowing your site is down? It's not actually a website, it's just a redirect. But does the URL not redirect to the changelog? If you just go www.GGCohMod.com, does that redirect to the Google Doc? Or does it not? If not, I'll have to change some links. So thanks for bringing that up if that is the case. So shocks have been called in.
We shall fight as never before, Commander. Just give the order.
Oh, you're actually using the recon. Okay, so he sees a fair bit here. But what is he going to do with this information? Maybe he's looking for the MG, just seeing if he can cap the point safely. He has his fuel point back as well, which is nice. And he's actually building a Panzer IV. So going straight for the Panzer IV, wants to have something on the field. But yeah, the game is actually pretty spread out. Fighting over all 3 points of the map simultaneously. That's why I love this map. It's one of the best maps in terms of you can't really blob on this map because of how spread out the points are. Could even lose the MG42 here. No, the MG gets out. So we have the shocks. Shocks going to be a great counter to the G43s. Getting the grenades and the grenadiers might be worth doing just so you can nade as the shocks try and charge up close. The domain is pending verification. That's weird. So does that link not work for anyone? Because for me, it doesn't work on my Microsoft Edge browser, but it works on my other browsers. And everyone that I've spoke to says it works. AT grenades already available. P4 has to be careful. Oh man, the Pyos, they take a lot of damage from that nade. Yeah, nice kiting here from Fred. Even with the Ura, it's still hard to land the AT grenade from the front. Ren's trying to charge up close here. I don't know if this is really smart, but the squad's actually pretty low. And the nades, yeah, nice. I love the nade tech. Domain has been suspended. God damn it. Okay, I'll have to check that. Thanks for bringing it up. I'll look into it. Nade does connect on this Panzer IV, however. Kpen, he might want to go... Oh, he actually goes for his tier 4. What does he go for now, though? Once I finish this game, I'll have a look at the URL. Basically, it's just a redirect that I have set up. Don't know why it's not working. Fred is actually building a squad of grenadiers. Because he only has 2 squads, so you want to have a bit more of a solid infantry army than just 2 squads.
The new grenadier squad is ready. Enemy forces are secure.
There's actually a telemine there as well. I think there's 2 telemines. Yeah, one on the road, one here as well. So I like how the munitions have been spent. There's still plenty of munitions left over as well. I think Fred has had better map control, so he's had more munitions to his name. He's on counter barrage. Look at that. Nice. I love seeing players actually use counter barrage. Or pops the for Mother Russia. I want to see this counter barrage though. See how effective it is. I believe it's supposed to give you better stats, if I'm not mistaken. These greens have to be careful. They're extra damage from the conscript, or extra accuracy. Oh, the nade comes through. Nice little retreat present. Counter barrage wasn't too effective. I know it gives you extra accuracy. I don't know if it actually affects the mortar. It probably doesn't, because the mortar is scatter based. A demo blew up the Grens, but no wipe. Again, maximum damage per squad set to 3, so you can't get those individual wipes. This con's gonna tire down now, or whatever it's called. Oh, do they remove that? They don't have the debuff anymore. Yeah, okay, must have done. Been a while since I've actually seen that. We have Kpen going for the KV1. Not a bad choice. And what is Fred's second choice of vehicle? A second P4 might not be a bad choice, especially since if he sees the KV1, double Panzer IV should be able to take care of that very easily. There's no Zisk gun here for Kpen. Is he mid-cast right now? Yeah, I'm mid-cast. I'll check the website after this game. Building another telemine. I wonder how long it takes for this KV1 to hit a mine. And it's actually really clever here because Kpen has no minesweeper. So unless he reveals his he like sees a pioneer squad planting, then Kpen has to be very careful. Yeah, this is the mod that I'm casting, which is why we have a KV1. I suppose it's not really that surprising because it's actually counterattack anyway, but you don't actually need counterattack for the KV1 anymore. And it's why we have G43 Grenadiers without having any commando lock-in. Maybe we'll see the Tiger. You require the tier 4 building for it though.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Okay, here's the KV1. It's had extra pen, well, it has extra pen, but so does the Panzer IV. So they've both been buffed in this. KV1, of course, has much more health, though, but maybe more armor as well, I suppose. Maybe to try and bait with the Grenadiers for the telemine. Uses the smoke to close the distance with these shocks. Nice play. Pack gotta be careful. The shocks do share a cooldown with both of their nades, though. The smoke and the frag. So Fred is... He went tier 4. Okay, so I think he wants to get a Tiger out. Mightn't be worth getting Shreks. Depends what Kpen goes for. I expect a B4 to be honest.
Opponents are seizing a
Just because Kpen loves howitzers. Oh, building a Maxim. Okay. Repair bunkers are also an option, but when you have 2 pioneers, I suppose it's a little bit unnecessary. But one of the main bonuses of the repair bunker is it doesn't cost any pop cap, so it's really good late game. Meanwhile, only 1 engineer squad for Kpen, and when you have a tank that has so much health, you definitely want to have more than 1 engineers. No Molotovs either for Kpen. Oof. That may have actually been a wipe on the Grens if that was live. Because the mortars also have a maximum models set to 3. Maximum models damaged. Oh, but the finish with the KV-1. Bit less scatter. And Kpen's building a Zis gun. Oh, Fred's going for a Panther rather than a Tiger. Okay, so he's really not making use of his commanders. Even just the fragmentation bomb would be nice against these support weapons. If Kpen starts relying on the Zis gun, maybe we'll see the fragmentation bomb. Pyro's got to be careful here. The VP scored pretty even, actually. 411 VPs for Fred. 340 for Kpen. Oh, the mortar blew up the telemine. That's actually a bit of a misplay there from Fred, having his mortar and Pack even, having them both so close to the teller. You want to give a bit of distance so you don't have those random scatters that blow up mines. Like now, see the Panzer IV, it's so close to the teller, the KV-1 may blow it up. I guess so is the KV-1, they're both close to their own mines. It is the worst thing ever when your own tank gets hit by your own mine. Yeah, we've seen Fred try and use the counter barrage, but it hasn't really been too effective. But we have a Panther and a Panzer IV, so both of those combined could be very powerful. The Panther's been changed. I did mention it in the last cast, but I'll go through again just in case some of you guys weren't watching the first game. The Panther has its range reduced from 50 to 45, but it has a much faster rate of fire. About 2 seconds less. Better moving accuracy as well. So it's more of a medium tank hunter rather than jack of all trades that doesn't really do much. So the idea was to make it more effective against mediums, but less effective against tank destroyers. Because its range was too low to deal with tank destroyers, but then its rate of fire was too low to deal with medium tanks, so it was kind of in a weird, awkward spot where it didn't really excel anywhere. Kpen going for a double KV-1. I definitely would recommend an SU-85 against the Panther and the Panzer IV. Telemine! Uh-oh! Gets the hit. Does half the damage because the KV-1 has a fair bit of hit points, but actually in front of the pack, and the Panzer IV is moving in as well for the kill, but the cons are there for the nade, or rather the Panther. Could finish it off though. You should definitely commit to this rather than staying around near the conscripts. The pack is just decrewed and actually destroyed by the mortar. Has the rear armor exposed here. He should definitely reface that. Because the front armor is pretty damn good and it should bounce most of those KV-1 shots. Not very well capitalized by FredFoShizzle. His Panther micro wasn't particularly impressive. And look at the KV-1, it will survive as well. Let's see if the Panzer IV goes in for it. Is this barraging the support teams? Oh, the mortar goes down. Nice little turnaround here from Kpen. Obers don't have their LMG. No, you have to go special operations to unlock the LMG. Instead, they get the STGs. It's similar to Grenadiers. Yeah, this P4 sticking around. Yeah, only 59 pop cap though for Freddy. Lost a fair bit of his squads. His Grenadiers have no veterancy. At least his P4 is Vet 2, so it has extra armor. But the double KV1 is pretty powerful. I mean, they're multi-purpose, but they should get taken out by the Panther pretty effectively. So KV1 is tier 4. Yes, the KV1 is only tier 4. But if Fred can hold a VP long enough, sorry, fuel point, he'd go for a Tiger. Maybe even the command tank would be worth it. Just get the buff on his Panzer IV and on his Panther. I was actually missed that, but I think he lost a couple of squads during that tank engagement. See, the KV1, it won't penetrate this Panther very reliably. Not at long range, at least. This could be a long game. The VP score is still at 300 for both of our players. Okay, is he going to commit to this KV1? He has to be careful with the Zis gun. That's his main threat, I think. So this is where going the fragmentation bomb would really come in handy, especially with the Panzer Tactician. Getting a lot of veterancy though on the Panther. Getting a lot of shots off. Gets extra turret rotation rather than Blitzkrieg. As do all tanks. Bit better unit preservation as well here for Kpen. Has all of his con squads alive, so they're almost all Vet 3. Pops the Mother Russia again. All tanks have to be built from the tier. Yes, that's correct. There are no more call-in vehicles. They're all buildable. Heavy tanks require tier 4. Lighter stuff doesn't. Like the Puma you actually build from tier 2, but it requires battle phase 2. Same with the Stilgi, for example. What's the main point in the mod? It's just to rebalance and redesign the mod. Put it to how I would like the mod to be. I have a full explanation on the changelog. Exclamation mark changelog should work. I don't know if the exclamation mark changelog, if that's the URL which doesn't work, or if it's just the actual link to the Google Doc. But try that, exclamation mark changelog, and there's like a Google Doc. There's a link called the explanation document where I talk about what my intentions are behind the mod and what I will aim to achieve in detail. These cons are very powerful with the buff. Fred building a pack gun. I don't know if that's what he really needs right now. I think he has enough anti-tank with the Panther and the vetted P4. I think what he really needs is just more anti-infantry. Oh, it goes for a Broombar instead. Okay, I like that. I think that's a much better choice. Has to be careful of his cons, though. He actually has a repair bunker as well. Beautiful. Grens could go down. Loses the Grens to the Maxim. Yeah, I think Fred's being a little bit careless now. He still has this massive float of munitions. Wait, he has Pioneers inside of his bunker. What the hell? Not quite within range for the Faust. Oh yeah, the repair bunker Pioneers are repairing his Panzer IV, while his squad repairs the Panther. The Broombar's also going to be really nice against the Zis gun, which is kind of what one of his biggest problems is. It's Vet 2. Broombar shouldn't really try and fight the KV-1, however. Now Kpen's building an Su-85. That's a really smart choice. That'll give him pretty much everything he needs. It'll give him some really hard-hitting AC. Putting a fuel cache. Maybe that Brumbar should have been a Tiger though, if he'd waited a little bit further, but I think that Brumbar should be really good. I haven't seen the Brumbar in action, so not sure how well it'll perform. It's got a bit of a nerf since it was pretty damn strong, especially since Tier 4 comes a lot earlier now. I had to make sure it wasn't too good. We'll see. Vet 2 KV1. Right, Brumbar hasn't done anything yet. Oh, Kpen's actually pop-capped. He can't get his Su-85 out. Here we go. Brumbar, you're not facing the right direction. What are you doing? Brumbar's taking a bit of damage here from the Zis. Oof. Not very good positioning with the Brumbar. Would be really nice if he went Spearhead. He could then use Panzer Tactician, which is now the canister smoke like the Shermans. He could smoke off the Zis gun and then attack ground through the smoke to the Zis with the Brumbar. That'd be really nice. Again, also has the fragmentation bomb. I don't think mech would be really good right now. I mean, light arty is definitely not as strong as the frag, especially the recon. And other than that, I mean, the command tank probably not worth it at this stage. He has a lot of tanks, but his fuel is and his pop cap is a little bit sparse. The Mother Rush has been popped for the 3rd time, so I'm glad to see him actually use this ability. We're going for the repair bunker. Can't get much damage done. Okay, Brumbar's being repaired. So much repairs here for Fred. That's the main thing he has going for him. But the Su-85 has hit the field. So the Panther and the Panzer IV has to be a lot more careful. Vet 3 almost on the Panzer IV. And the Vet 2 Panther has extra accuracy. No more instant smoke. No, Panzer Tactician is now the canister, so you have to actually use skill to use it. But it gives you a lot more options as well then, because then you can use it aggressively, you can use it to set up flanks, like using the canister smoke, and I think that's the mortar smoking, not his tank, yeah, he doesn't have the commander, but using the Panzer Tactician to smoke off an Su-85, so then your Panther can go in and get the kill, is a really nice play that you can do. Like right now, if he fully committed to it, he may actually kill something. But no, he's a little bit worried. Going for a Panzerwerfer, so he wants to have the artillery against the Zis gun. Zis gun and the Su-85 is going to have the long range advantage here. The penetration is so good on the Su-85. Going in is Kpen. Is he going to fully commit to this? SU not chasing up here. He actually has a focus sight enabled on the Su-85. Okay, let's see the Panzerwerfer. We have 2 engineers, which is quite nice from Kpen. But yeah, this is turning into a pretty intense game. I feel like Kpen has the advantage just because he has better veterancy. He's had better unit preservation. Oh, a Telemine hit. KV1's very low now. Panther's going for the follow-up here. Su-85's rotating in. We have conscripts here. Not much munitions, but there's not going to be enough munitions for the grenade. Panther's in a very risky spot right now. But so is the KV1. He gets out of the range of the conscripts for now. Bounces the shot. KV-1 moving in. He has the rear armor exposed to one of the Panthers. The AT grenade comes through from the cons. The KV-1 survives, and there goes the Panther. Rear armor exposed there. The KV-1's penetration, it's pretty low, but with the rear armor, it's going to be enough. This KV-1 is just bouncing all these shots from the Panzer IV. Oh, man. Su-85 and Ziskan going to be joining the fight any moment now. Jeez. Wow. Have I made the KV-1s OP? Have I? What monster have I created? I don't know. Panzerwerfer barrage coming through. Wasn't too effective. Actually, I wonder if an AT grenade will get the damage engine on a Panther in the mod. Because the Panther has more health, so maybe it'll be able to survive an AT grenade. But now Fred's in a really bad spot, losing all of his armor. Going for Shreks, that's actually a really smart choice. I think maybe, yeah, having Shreks is good because the infantry damage on the KV-1s are pretty bad. So just having a lot of Shreks would be able to force them away pretty reliably. Mid bunker's destroyed. Nice snipe. Well, the game is looking pretty bad here for Fred. I'm afraid to say it. He can't really go in the middle because there's Su-85 and there's the Ziskan here. Just feeding veterancy. Vet 3 is Ziskan. Vet 1 Su-85 as well. Yeah, so we can see KV-1s are pretty bad against infantry. The Shreks are a nice choice. I mean, it is Vet 3, so what does it have? Let's reload. Oh, that's it. There's no accuracy bonuses, it's just reload. So it fires very quick. Wow, that barrage is so quick with the Vet 3. He has a Stug now. Stug's a really good counter too. There goes the Brumbar. GG, man. Whew. That was an intense game. I don't know, I think, as I said, I think Kpen just had better unit preservation. That was the real issue, is Fred couldn't overrun the support weapons because all he had was like Vet 1 Grenadiers. Where Kpen kept all of his cons alive. They were all Vet 3. He had the shocks there as well. So unit preservation I think was very important. Possibly, maybe I've made the KV-1s a little bit OP. I mean, all they did really was just increase their penetration. Not by a crazy amount either, mind you. But, I mean, that engagement there was a big misplay there. The rear armor was facing the KV-1 for pretty much the entire time. So that's unfortunate, but also I think not making use of any commanders, didn't go Pez a Tactician when he had the option. He didn't use any fragmentation bombs, would have been really nice. Even just on the KV-1s, the frag has a pretty high chance for the stun. So it can be nice to just frag bomb the retreat path of a tank. Especially when it had a damaged engine. Like when the damage engine hit the the KV-1 hit the telemine and it was crawling away. Just frag bomb the retreat, and then it's a pretty guaranteed kill with the Panther there for follow-up.